Hello again. This is Mr. Barrett here to take you through a whistle-stop tour of A-level politics. So the basic requirements initially, a 6 in English is required in order to allow the student to be competent with writing lengthy essays that are open-ended, that are discursive. They need to be able to critically analyze arguments and source material to form and frame arguments and be able to critically assess their own thinking. So 6 in English is mandatory. Also, the second requirement would be a 6 in a literacy-based subject. History, geography, and philosophy and ethics are a few examples. This is to ensure it's those exam skills of essay writing, reading large quantities of information, synthesizing that information, and coming up with succinct arguments based around key questions and concepts from politics is vital, and having a 6 in both of these literacy-based subjects is highly useful. There's 2 teachers for politics. Myself, Mr. Barrett, I'm also the head of politics as well as the head of psychology. Yes, that's right, the jack of all trades, master of none. As well, I have my partner in crime, Miss McConnell. She also helps me out teach a lot of the political ideology parts of the course, which she is well versed and she's an expert in. The Year 12 and Year 13 course is divided. So in Year 12, we focus on UK government first, which is comprised of the UK Constitution, devolution, talking about threats to the UK unity. And then we look at Parliament, the role of Parliament, powers of Parliament, key events in Parliament's history, the changes of Parliament over time. We look at the Prime Minister and the Cabinet, their roles as the government, presenting bills, how the opposition holds the Prime Minister and Cabinet to account. We look at the relationships between institutions, so we focus on the newly formed Supreme Court. So that comprises a bulk of the content for UK government. And then we have UK politics, and that's where we talk about democracy in action. Is there a voting participation crisis in UK elections? What are the history and what are the ideologies and general manifestos of the political parties? Should we extend the franchise to 16-year-olds? Should referendums be used or should they be ignored? And obviously through the contemporary climate, it is very important for kids to be able to understand and apply concepts to current political developments. So Brexit comes up a lot. The current COVID pandemic in terms of how it influences political developments in Parliament, in the Cabinet, in parties, and voting. It all comes up regularly through politics. In UK government and UK politics is the bulk of Year 12. Then in Year 13, we also look at US politics. It's real simple. Who better to talk about US politics than a real live-blooded American? Yeehaw. So we focus on much of the same things. Go through the Constitution, go through Congress, powers of the President, Supreme Court, lobbyists, special interest groups, how do you elect a president, parties, historical context in the development of all these. Does the U.S. government do too much, etc., etc.? In this comprises the bulk of the Year 13 course. It's primarily just U.S. politics. And then there's an additional component where we compare the U.S. political system in the key concepts like the Constitution. We compare that with the UK Constitution, and the kids have to analyze the similarities and differences of those two political systems, which is quite enjoyable for the students because U.S. politics is completely foreign and different than UK politics. So it's quite interesting for them to highlight the differences. So, general content. We focus on the cabinet and how the cabinet's chosen and the roles of the cabinet. In American politics, it could be political parties. America is red and blue, much like Labor and Conservative are in UK politics. But as you can see, America is highly purple. So it's political. In politics, it is not clear to say anything is one or the other. There is gray everywhere in politics, and it's really fun for students to have their opinions challenged in debates in the discursive nature of politics, and the students watching news, looking at current events is really topical, and it's really engaging for students when they have to have those critical self-reflection moments when you can't just go with their opinion and they need to confront their own opinion and they question why they hold the opinions they do. We look at political parties, we look at the overlap between them. When students realize that the political parties have more in common than they do different, then why do we not have more variety in terms of who becomes a prime minister? Why is it always a Labour or Conservative prime minister? So that sort of, we flush out concepts in wider debate topics within politics, and the structural information allows these students to access these wider debates, and that's where the real fun in politics comes. These really in-depth, deep dive debates and the understanding of the nuances within the political landscape is really, really enjoyable. So then 3 examinations in politics. So examination 1 just covers the UK political concepts in the UK political course. The second paper focuses on UK government. Then the third paper is all about America and comparing American political systems to the UK political systems. And that is the bulk of those 3 exams.